response, you're going to say stand up, fight back. When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When abortion rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When abortion is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When abortion is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When trans rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When trans rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When trans rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say it once, say it twice, we will not put up with ICE!
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice, we will not put up with ICE!
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice, we will not put up with ICE!
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice, we will not put up with ICE!
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice, we will not put up with ICE!
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
The people united will never be defeated!
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated!
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated!
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated!
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated!
The people united will never be defeated.
All right, guys, we're going to learn a new one really quick. So you might have heard the Spanish version of that chant, which is El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Can we do that one really quick? Let's do it all together. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. All right, we're going to learn a new version of it today. It means the women united will never be defeated. So it goes like this. Mujeres unidas jamás serán vencidas. Mujeres unidas jamás serán vencidas. All right, let's try it all together. Mujeres unidas jamás serán vencidas. 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 Great job, you guys. We're gonna learn a lot of new chants today, so you guys, you're giving me hope. All right, let's do this one. I'm gonna say keep abortion, you say safe and legal. Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
I'm gonna say childcare, healthcare, education, and you repeat after me. Childcare, healthcare, education. Committee. We're an all-volunteer grassroots organization fighting in the streets for reproductive justice here in the Twin Cities. When we say reproductive justice, we mean the right and ability to have a child, to not have a child, and to parent our children in safe and healthy communities. That's why we are fighting to defend and expand women's and reproductive rights, including full abortion access for all. And that's why we're here to demand ICE out of Minnesota and ICE out of everywhere! My name is Kristen. I'm an organizer with the Minnesota Abortion Action Committee. We have lots of friends from MIRAC, the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee, here today.
My name's Emil. I'll be your other MC. I organize with the Students for a Democratic Society. Yay, students. We're going to hang out here for a while, hear from some amazing speakers, and then we're going to hit the streets because we love women so much. Who's excited? All right, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, who is going to be Paula from the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. Get up here.
Hola con todos. Hey everyone. Mujer, celebra tu día recordando tu fuerza, honrando tu valentía y confiando en el poder que tienes para conquistar todo lo que sueñas.
Woman, celebrate your day, remembering your strength, honoring your courage, and trusting in the power that you have to achieve your dreams.
Buenas tardes con todos los presentes. Soy una mujer migrante que dejó atrás a su familia y sus hijos.
Good afternoon, everyone here. I am an immigrant woman who had to leave my family and my children behind.
Salí cargada una maleta llena de sueños y metas por cumplir.
I left with a suitcase full of dreams and goals to achieve.
Hoy quiero pedirte, mujer migrante, que no te des un paso a torcer.
Today, I want to ask you, immigrant woman, to not stray from your path.
Porque tenemos que demostrar de lo que estamos hechas.
Because we need to show everyone what we are made of.
Somos luchadoras, somos guerreras, porque somos capaces de tener en nuestra espalda la responsabilidad de sacar adelante a nuestros hijos y a nuestra familia.
We are fighters. We are warriors. Because we have the ability to carry on our backs the responsibility to bring our families and our children forward in this world.
Habemos algunas mujeres que somos responsables de ser padre y madre a la vez.
There are many of us women who have the responsibility of being a father and a mother at the same time.
Mujer, no te des por vencida. Sabes, todo esto pasará. Podemos seguir adelante trabajando para cumplir nuestros sueños.
Woman, I ask you not to give up. We know that everything going on will pass. We know that we can continue working to achieve our dreams.
La lucha sigue, mujer valiente. Un abrazo para cada una de las que están aquí presentes y para el resto del mundo, a todas las mujeres. Solo queremos paz.
The struggle continues, brave woman. A hug to every woman that is here today, and for everyone, all of us in the whole world, because all we want is peace.
Con esto me despido. Lo único que pedimos es trabajar y que nos traten como personas trabajadoras y no como delincuentes o criminales.
With this, I leave you. The one thing that I ask is that you just let us work and stop treating us like criminals and delinquents, but start treating us like the workers that we are. Thank you.
Everybody say gracias, Paula! Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
All right, next up, I am so proud to introduce Zara from the Minnesota Abortion Action Committee. Give it up for Zara!
This is the highest I've ever done a speech from. Hello everyone, and welcome to this year's International Women's Day March. My name is Zara, and I am an organizer with the Minnesota Abortion Action Committee. In MNAC, we believe that reproductive justice has always been an immigrants' rights issue, because immigrant women and families face some of the most targeted attacks on their right to have children, to raise them safely, and to stay together. When the state separates families, detains pregnant people, denies health care, and uses the threat of deportation to silence survivors, that is a reproductive injustice. That's why we stand shoulder to shoulder with movements fighting to protect our immigrant neighbors, oppose U.S. militarism, establish community control of the police, give a voice to the wrongfully incarcerated, and resist imperialism across the globe. The attacks we're facing from the right wing and the Trump administration are connected, and our power is stronger when we stand together. International Women's Day is a reminder of why we must keep taking this fight to the streets. More than a century ago, this day was born out of a mass action. Working class women walking out, marching, and demanding better lives. Every right we have today came from people refusing to stay silent, refusing to stay home, and refusing to accept the conditions imposed on them. It shows our strength, it makes our demands impossible to ignore, and it builds the collective power we need to win the fights ahead. Today, we honor working class and oppressed women worldwide. We uplift queer and trans people resisting gender oppression. We stand with our immigrant neighbors, whose strength, resilience, and resistance are woven into the fabric of this movement. And we commit to building the kind of collective power that can't be ignored. In the streets, in our communities, and in every fight ahead. Thank you.
Hopefully you guys remember how to do this call and response. Keep abortion!
Safe and legal.
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 Say that, guys. Our next two speakers are family members of women who were victims of domestic abuse. Both of these women's cases show how racist and sexist the Minneapolis Police Department is and why we need community control of the police. First, we're going to hear from Jana. Jana is the aunt of Allison Lucier. Allison was an Indigenous woman who reported her abuser and asked for protection against him several times, but MPD did nothing, and then Allison was murdered by this abusive man. MPD continues to fail to investigate her case. Justice for Allison Lucier.
Justice for Allison Lucier.
And so I'll welcome Jana up here to talk more about it.
Thank you, first of all, for everybody for even coming today. Bonjour. Happy International Women's Day. Don't y'all just look so beautiful standing here today on this wonderful March day in Minnesota, the only place where it can be 60 degrees today and -2 tomorrow. My name is Jana Williams with Justice for Allison and Twin Cities Coalition for Justice. I come I come from the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe in northern Minnesota. I never imagined in my lifetime that I would be standing in front of crowds like this. My whole life, I was shy, so shy that I could barely speak in front of my own family, behind our own four walls. But today, I stand here not because I want to. I stand here because I need to. You see, it was a system that failed my family. And that failure is what the system now calls radicalizing people like me. Many of you have heard the story of Davis Maturi, the black man shot through the neck by his white neighbor in North Minneapolis in 2024 after 911 unanswered calls. But I ask you this, have you heard of Allison Luciar's case? If you haven't, ask yourself this, why haven't you heard of Allison Luciar? Allison was an American Indian woman who was beaten to death and left deceased in her North Loop apartment with no investigation into her death. Zero. Why didn't her story echo across this country? Is it because she was an American Indian? Is it because she was a woman? Or is it because domestic violence has become so normalized in America and in this world that violence against women is still quietly tolerated? Somewhere deep in our systems and our culture, women are still treated as someone else's property. I grew up in Elk River, Minnesota. Back then, there were almost no people of color where I lived. The very first time I remember seeing brown people other than my family was when migrant Hispanic workers came to the field across our home to pick potatoes. And I remember something very clearly. It felt good to see people who looked like my family. That memory stays with me. Many of the older women here today might remember sitting in classrooms as girls and filling out those surveys about what we wanted to be when we grew up. The choices were things like this: interior designer, nurse, school teacher. I don't remember ever seeing a box that said doctor, astronaut, certainly not the President of the United States of America. And I can tell you from my own life that not long ago, things looked very different. When I was younger, I dated a black man and had mixed race children in the late 1980s. Walking into a restaurant and grocery store together meant feeling all eyes on us. The whispers, the judgment, seeing an interracial couple back then was rare, but times have changed. Now we see the beauty of white grandparents holding their little brown grandbabies with nothing but love in their eyes. And I will tell you, that brings tears to my eyes, because it shows how far we have come, even within my own lifetime. But it also brings tears to my eyes because I know how far we still have yet to go. The fight against domestic violence is still happening inside our own homes, inside of our systems. And the truth is, we cannot fight these problems only from the outside. We must change it from the inside. This legislative session, Senator Mary Kunish from the White Earth Reservation, Representative Kelly Moeller, and Violence Free Minnesota have introduced legislation designed to change these systems from within. It's called Allison's Law. This bill removes the loose language that allows law enforcement to ignore and minimize domestic violence cases. It will require officers across the state of Minnesota to treat suspicious deaths involving a history of domestic violence as potential homicides. It will require them to interview family members, something that they didn't do in Allison's case. And I want people to understand this very clearly. If these systems had been changed, even 1 year ago, Mariah Samuels would still be alive.
That's right.
That is the reality of why we are here. These changes are not political. They are about saving lives. This week, our family also received unexpected news in another case. After 6 long years, an arrest was finally made in the murder of my first niece, Ariana Buckanaga. 6 years of waiting. Yeah, we're grateful that there's finally having an arrest made, but what we're learning now is heartbreaking. Early reports show investigators missed a critical step. DNA from the crime scene was never entered into a national database. Shame on MPD. That means this crime could have been solved more than 5 years ago. 5 years of answers that should have come sooner. And families should not have to fight like this, the way that we're fighting just to get justice. We should not have to stand in front of the governments that are yelling and demanding charges or begging for transparency. We should not have to find coalitions such as TCC4J that help us fight the systems that harm us. That should not be how justice works. When women are beaten, harmed, and killed by their partners, justice, accountability should not be something families have to beg for. It should be our right. And that also means we need real accountability in policing. We need community control of the police. We need to take the power away from the system where oversight is held by just one person and instead give that power to the community. That is why we're asking people to sign the Community Police Accountability Council. We need to sign that today, and we need to push for our neighbors to do this.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So today I want you to do one thing. Look around you. Look at the women standing beside you here today. Look at the children. Look at the men and the boys who came to support us. Because the responsibility to change the systems belongs to all of us. As women, we must continue to raise our voices. We must demand accountability, and we must refuse to accept systems that allow violence against us to be ignored. And we must start doing something else too today. We need to start talking to our daughters about getting into politics, about running for city council, about becoming legislators, about sitting at the tables that these decisions are made. Because when women are in those rooms, we make decisions that protect our families, our communities, and our future generations. We must challenge the patriarchy that has been allowed to harm us for generations. And we must keep fighting, not just for ourselves, but for the women who are no longer here standing beside us. For Allison, for Ariana, for Mariah, and for every woman whose story still hasn't been heard. Miigwech.
Say her name, Allison Lucier. Say her name. 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 All right. Couple of quick housekeeping things. If you are here and you would like to be part of our children's contingent, we have a banner up here. It's being held by a couple of marshals kind of right in front of the sound truck. So if you have kids and you would like to be part of the children's contingent, you can come on up. And if you are speaking today and you have not checked in with our program manager yet, please come do so at the sound truck. So next up, we are going to have Mona. Mona is the younger sister of Mariah Samuels. Mariah was also a victim of domestic violence. Mariah also had filed for protection against her abuser, but MPD did not do enough, and eventually this led to Mariah being murdered by her abuser, who shot her 22 times outside of her father's house. Yay! Justice for Mariah Samuels! Justice for Mariah Samuels!
Hello guys, I just want to note, Jana, the girl that she was talking about, Ariana, I actually went to school with that girl, so when I found out that she had been killed in the way she was, it was very, it was shocking, but it was something that we had unfortunately grown used to in my school. That was the only note I wanted to make. I'm trying to keep it in time to keep everything good. Okay. I want to get up here and tell you all the beautiful things about Mariah Samuels, my big sister. But unfortunately, myself nor my family have that luxury. Instead, I'm here to tell you that MPD, my sister wasn't fearful enough to them. Her ability to be a black woman and take something so heavy, like getting beaten in the face with a gun in stride, must have caught them off guard, I guess. See, my sister has always been very, very beautiful. She's always been familiar with the greedy hands of men who only wanted them for their own. Instead, know what people think. Then why is she dead right now? MPD, Chief O'Hare, why was my sister shot 22 times in my dad's front yard, only minutes after your officers left her? Why does my nephew, shame, why does my nephew not have a single living parent, despite his mother taking every single step you lay out for us to take? She left, cut contact, blocked him from sending any more life-threatening messages to her, even after being stalked, ambushed, attacked, and pistol whipped in her own neighborhood, only a few blocks from my dad's house. She was still not fearful enough for MPD to save. Mariah had the strength to come and file a report and receive the order of protection against the man who is a known violent person by MPD. I'm sorry, it's been a really long week.
We got your back. We got you.
We all know how personal MPD can be with you. Once they know your face, they remember it, and they hold that against you. They make people targets. David Wright was a known felon who was on parole and should have immediately received a warrant as soon as the report was filed. He should have been arrested and taken off the streets. He should have been removed immediately, but instead, 20 days it took for MPD. 20 days it took for MPD to assign an investigator. Little did they know that the very next morning she would be shot dead in front of my dad's house. God, I'm sorry.
We got your back.
The house my father still has to leave from work every day and return to. The same house his daughter was shot in front of. A house he can't afford to move or even sell now. A house my nephews called home. They are now afraid to even be in the house alone or even go upstairs to their mother bedroom. When I was there, my nephew was so relieved to have somebody in the house with him because he was so scared at night to sleep. I'm sure that's my time now. Please, if you're able to support, we have trial all of this March. Every court date, we are trying to pack the court with bodies. I want all eyes on MPD. I want all eyes on Hennepin County so they know that we will not let a single death go. We will not let Allison's case go. We will not let Mariah's case go. We will not let Ariana's case be swept underneath the rug when so many people are dying. Mothers, daughters, sisters, people who are actually important to our community are gone and now missing and who will never be seen again. Her family will not let this go. Our community will not let this go. No more stolen lives and no more stolen sisters. Thank you.
Say her name, Mariah Samuels.
Mariah Samuels.
Say her name.
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 Mariah Samuels.
Justice for them all. Our next speaker is going to be Alyssa Washington from the Wrongfully Incarcerated and Over-Sentenced Families Council of Minnesota.
Free court. Thank you all for being here today. Today on International Women's Day, we are not just celebrating women, we are honoring resistance. Woo! Because women across the world have always been on the front lines of struggle. Women who organized, women who fought back, women who refused to stay silent when systems try to break us. And today, we stand in that same tradition. At the Wrongfully Incarcerated and Over-Sentenced Families Council, Minnesota, we know that mass incarceration is not just a prison issue, it's a woman's issue. Because when the system cages our loved ones, it is women who carry the weight. Women raising children alone, women driving hours just to put their eyes on their loved one in prison, women organizing rallies, writing letters, and demanding justice when the world wants us to stay quiet. Mass incarceration steals fathers, sons, brothers, and partners from our communities, but it is also steals peace, stability, and safety from women and families. That's right. But we also have to tell the full truth. Mass incarceration steals women from our communities too. Yep. And that is something that is not talked about enough. Women are being locked away in this system as well. Mothers, daughters, sisters, women whose names and stories are often ignored or erased. Today, I want to uplift the name Antoinette Reed Johnson, a woman here in Minnesota who has been incarcerated since 2017 and is serving a life sentence. Her name deserves to be spoken. Her story deserves to be heard, and she deserves the same attention, advocacy, and fight for justice that we demand for everyone else trapped inside these systems. Antoinette is serving that life sentence for simply being present when a crime was committed. Can I get a shame? With no knowledge that a crime was even going to happen, and yet the system chose to cage her for life. That ain't right. And we know this struggle personally. Our organization is fighting for the freedom of Cornelius Jackson, who has been wrongfully incarcerated and over-sentenced for nearly 2 decades here in Minnesota. And behind that fight are women organizing every single day, refusing to let his name be forgotten. We are also fighting for Nico Redding, imprisoned for decades and held far beyond the time he should have been released. And Nico's also an elder who's experiencing all types of mistreatment in the Department of Corrections here in Minnesota. That's right, shame. And behind that fight for him, there's women like me who have never given up.
That's right.
Again, women writing letters, making calls, women speaking out when others are afraid. Because behind almost every wrongful conviction and excessive sentence, there is a woman somewhere fighting to bring their loved one home. And sometimes that woman herself is behind the walls, still deserving of justice, still deserving of freedom. And these systems are not separate. The same systems that cage our people are the same systems terrorizing immigrant families with ICE raids. The same systems that allow gender-based violence to continue while survivors struggle to be believed. The same systems that try to criminalize and erase trans lives. Oppression is coordinated, and our resistance must be too. You cannot claim to support women while ignoring immigrant mothers watching their families be deported. You cannot claim to support women while ignoring the violence faced by trans women every day. And you cannot claim to support women while ignoring the mothers and partners fighting to free their wrongfully incarcerated loved ones. Our liberation is truly tied together. So today we say clearly, we stand with immigrant families. We stand against ICE terrorizing our communities. We stand against gender-based violence. We stand for trans liberation. And we stand for every family fighting to bring their loved ones home from cages. Because justice is not selective. Justice is collective. And the women in this movement, the mothers, daughters, sisters, organizers, we are not backing down. If you believe in this fight, we invite you to stand with us. If you have a little free time, donate some of that time to organizing. Help us write letters. Help us show up to rallies. Help us fight for loved ones still behind those walls. That's right, help us free corn. You can find us on social media. We're connected with probably all of your guys' favorite organizing groups. You can find us on there. And on March 21st at Lucy's Parsons Center at 1 p.m. we have our first cycle of our prison letter writing. We're co-hosting with Families Against Military Madness, Twin Cities Coalition for Justice, and the USPCN-MN. Ashe.
Lawyer and civil rights leader Nikema Levy Armstrong.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
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 That's right, we keep us safe. Not these systems, not elected officials, not the police, and definitely not the federal government.
We keep us safe. It is phenomenal to see so many of you out here today on International Women's Day, standing up for the rights of women. I love you too. I've been a lawyer for over 25 years. And when I first started out as a lawyer, I represented victims of domestic violence and child victims of domestic abuse, and taught my law students how to go into court and stand up for and represent women and children. And what we saw was a lot of times there was a lack of empathy for women who had experienced domestic violence. A lot of times that was weaponized against them in divorce disputes and custody battles, especially if they were lower income women. Shame. And the reality is that a lot of the guardians ad litem and social workers were white women. But when it came to indigenous women, black women, and other women of color, a lot of times those social workers and those guardians ad litem operated on behalf of the patriarchy. That's right. Instead of on behalf of women and children, and understanding everything that they were up against. So I think that that is an important point for us to realize. Patriarchy is so baked into this culture that it's easy for us as women to side with the patriarchy. But we have to say, hell no, we won't go. We have to understand that we've been conditioned to side with the bad behavior and the misbehavior of too many men within our community and within our society. When we look at all of these systems, even as we're talking about the federal government, look at how men who have been accused of rape and pedophilia and physical abuse of women are actually running this damn country. And how, when you think about Donald Trump, the fact that he appointed a couple of women, I'm thinking specifically about Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem, women who weaponize the patriarchy against other women. They need to be called out and held accountable. I tell you, when I found out that Kristi Noem was fired this week, or last week, I knew that was an answer to prayer. So I was celebrating and cackling all day long. Okay? Because she was a woman who attacked other women on behalf of the patriarchy. And women like that are not on our side. They gotta go. They have to be held accountable. And Pam Bondi, you're next. You're next, boo. We coming for you too. These are women who got upset at a little old nonviolent church protest, right? And who went publicly saying we would be arrested, they were going to investigate us. They literally sent dozens of FBI agents to my hotel, a bunch of buff white men who would have attacked me if they had access to me at the time. Instead, they attacked one of my friends because they thought that she was me. They physically abused her, banged her head up, and took her to the Whipple building. When she asked to see the arrest record that they had, the arrest warrant, it didn't have her name on it, it had my name on it. Right? But these men were sent by Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi to try to silence our voices as black women standing against ICE, standing against the tyranny of the federal government, standing up for immigrant women, children, and families, and standing up for the power of the people. But we will not be silenced, because they spent so much time, money, and resources trying to investigate and arrest us. But how many pedophiles in the Epstein files have they investigated or arrested? 0. And the reality is that they don't intend to. These are girls and women who deserve our protection. And instead of protecting our babies What are they doing? Protecting billionaires, people who run companies, people who run universities, people who are supposedly at the top of society's game. That's who is being protected. But we must stand up. We must use our voices. We must resist. We will not be silenced. And we have to stand together.
Yes, we do.
They don't want to see us as a multiracial, multi-ethnic, multilingual force for justice. What they were expecting when they came to Minnesota, with Minnesota being 81% white, they thought that white people would go along with the tax against immigrants. But what did y'all do? You stood on business and you showed the nation that we are united as a force for good, that we love our neighbors as we love ourselves. We will not be silenced. We will not back up. But who had to back up? ICE and the federal government. They had to back up. They had to back up. They had to back up. For all their guns and all their might, we had whistles, we had our voices, we had our bodies, and we prevailed. So let's continue to stand up for women. Let's continue to stand up for immigrants. Let's continue to stand up for our LGBTQIA community. We stand with trans women. We stand with black women, Native women, Hmong women, Latinas. And white women who are genuine allies, not the ones who sell out to the patriarchy. All power to the people. Keep fighting and keep standing for what's right.
Shout out to Kiva, that was crazy. We will say it every time.
We will say it every time.
Protesting is not a crime.
Protesting is not a crime.
We will say it every time.
We will say it every time.
Protesting is not a crime.
Protesting is not a crime.
Next speaker is going to be Anne from Women's March.
Tricked you. Happy International Women's Day. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you. And I appreciate, you don't know this, but they snuck me up a little because my daughter planned a surprise for me and I'll be going to the urgent care soon after I talk to you. Because that's how we celebrate Women's Day. And I'm happy to be there for her and I'm happy to be here with you. Also, who doesn't want to follow Nakima? Luckily, I didn't even know, but I start with, we stand on the shoulder of giants. Yeah. We stand on the shoulder of giants. I'm older, but I still stand on her shoulders. You know, we stand on each other's shoulders. The federal ERA first proposed in 1923. That means our mothers, our grandmothers, for some of you, your great-grandmothers have been working on this. And it still hasn't passed. It still hasn't passed. But we stand on their strength. We stand on their strength. What's unfortunate now is while we were taking some steps, we took some steps with Roe v. Wade, and then a few years ago, they took it back away. Shame. Shame. Another thing that I'm a little afraid of, and I should mention I'm also with ERA Minnesota. There's my buddy right there. Yeah. I'm worried about the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act, which ostensibly ensures that only U.S. citizens can vote. But you have to have the same name on your ID as you have on your birth certificate. Shame. Shame. That is statistically going to impact married women who have taken their husband's last name. It is also going to impact our transgender friends. So we have this SAVE Act that in one fell swoop is going to potentially impact transgender people, women, immigrants, and naturalized citizens. Shame is right. What I'm going to say is they're going to use that to try to pit us against each other, and do not let them do that. Do not let them do that. I've got 1 minute. Oh, I got it. I'm skipping ahead. Some of the ways that we can do that, and we're already doing that, is, I said we stand on the shoulders of giants, but we stand in a community of heroes. And we are those heroes. And some of the things that we can do, we're already doing. First, we want to stand with immigrant women and men. Now, hands up. Hands up if you are doing mutual aid. Hands up if you are packing or delivering groceries to others. Hands up if you are patrolling things. That's what we can do. We can do it, and we continue to do it. We can demand money for families and not ICE. Hands up if you've been going to marches. Everybody, you're here. Hands up if you've been going to rallies. Hands up if you stand weekly with a poster on your cross street. Hands up if you're dressed like a frog or a walrus. That's what we do. We also want to try to hit some of the legal minds here. Hands up if you go to legislative meetings. Hands up if you sign petitions. If you haven't held your hand up at any of this point, talk to the people who have. I gotta say just two tiny things. We've got ER Day on the Capitol on March 12th. Please come, 10 a.m. and nearly said p.m. March 28th, no kings, noon to 3. We'll see you at the Capitol. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When trans rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When trans rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
All right, thank you so much, you guys. We are going to have 2 more speakers, and then we are going to get marching. All right, we're going to have Isabella Lopez speak. Isabella is an organizer in the Twin Cities who was abused by ICE on June 3rd last year, and she is now fighting bogus federal charges against her. Please welcome Isa.
No one's illegal on stolen land!
No one's illegal on stolen land.
No one's illegal on stolen land!
No one's illegal on stolen land.
No one's illegal on stolen land!
No one's illegal on stolen land.
Borders do not exist! I know for a fact that every person here that is a womb carrier understands and knows what it is that violence, like how badly we have to carry violence within our hips. People started calling me a feminist even before I even knew what that was. All I knew was growing up, I saw my mother being abused, and because she was an immigrant woman, it was that much more harder for her to get help. At the end of the day, force and violence is a language we have learned from the patriarchy. It's a language we're trying to unlearn, and it's a language that they are imposing not just here in the United States, but internationally. If your feminism is not international, it is worth nothing. Right now, there's women in Iran and Palestine who wish they could hold their babies, or have had to give themselves up for their babies. A matriarch is not a rule. It's not a land ruled by women. A matriarch is to understand and hold the babies first. And as women, we know what that is. We understand that. It is our role. It is our duty. It's not about us. It's about the collective. I just want to thank y'all so much for being out here. Right now, I have 4 federal charges on me. And that day, I can't say much about what happened that day, but what I can say that they have been repeatedly doing, from the woman that was disabled that they ranked out of the car, from the pregnant woman that they were spewing, they were literally dragging all across the ice. This patriarchy